If you're thinking about moving out or you've already taken the leap, this video is for you. Let's talk about things that no one really warns you about when you finally leave your home and start living on your own. Trust me, I've been there multiple times. So why wait any longer to share with you real life tips that would save you some serious stress and money. Hi and welcome back to So Why Wait. If you're new here, my name is Dana, and on this channel we talk about life as a Gen Z and things that I wish someone had told me when I was younger. If this relates to you, hit that subscribe button for new topics every Wednesday, and without any further ado, let's dive right in. So today we're talking about major tips that I wish someone had flagged to me before I moved out for the first time. First things first, budgeting. When you first move out, you'll think that the biggest cost is going to be rent. But fact check, there will be a lot of unforeseeable expenses or hidden expenses that you didn't count for, and they can really sneak up on you. I mean, for sure, rent is super important. But what about utilities, groceries? And don't even get me started about those unexpected bills. You will have to budget for the things that you already thought about, but moreover or at the side, you will have to also think about maintenance, service fees or tax, electricity, water, internet, laundry costs. So what? Tip number one, track your expenses and track your spending. You can either do so by creating a realistic budget through your own system, or you can use apps that are already online that have their system set up just to keep track of your spendings, but you have to be realistic about them. If you could, or if possible for you, try to keep some money aside for emergencies, hidden costs, and in the best case scenario, some savings. Next, let's talk about location. This is something that I didn't think was much of a big of a deal when I first moved. Like, finding a place that seems affordable is nice, but we'll need to consider things like commute time, accessibility to public transport, and safety. Is this place actually close to your work or school? And if the answer is no, we'll need to account for commuting, because this can be a draining factor for your budget, for your time and energy. Trust me, that hour or even more that you spend every day going back and forth to your work or school, it can really feel like a lifetime. So try to find a place that is reasonably close to your work or school. And if you have a car already, you can also check for the parking situation. Second, check commute time, and a major factor is the traffic there, if there is traffic or not as much. And third, try to visit that place or check before actually renting there. Go there at night and see how it looks like after dark. Something a lot of people overlook is the lease agreement. You don't want to get stuck with extra charges because you didn't know that something was in your lease. Tip. I know you've heard this 1,000 times, but seriously, read the lease agreement before signing anything. You'll need to know what is in there, and you need to check for things like rent increases, how to deal with security deposits, what are the maintenance responsibilities, and what would happen if you wanted to cancel the lease. This one is super duper important. You think when you move out you will have that sort of freedom and independence. Uh, let me tell you something. It is a change that, especially if you're moving outside like your home, living with your family, and then going to live somewhere else, but you're not living alone, meaning there will be someone living with you there. I'm going to share a funny story. It's funny to share now, but it wasn't at all funny going through it. When I first moved out, I moved in with my brother in another country. And it was kind of arguing and fighting for 25 hours in a day that has 24. It's a change in the dynamics when there's no family right there to be able to split you apart when you fight. There's no one to tell, like, no, please tell him, just let her stop. No, there's no one there. It's only you and him, and then whenever there is a clash, it's only you two that will be able to try and solve it. So fast forward to now, the situation changed drastically, and now we learned how to compromise to actually enjoy living with each other away from home. It's like there's still a sort of sense of family away. So we relocated recently and we are still housemates. So the key for that was communication and patience. So we'll have to compromise, but it needs a lot. It will take a lot from you, but to live with someone, especially the people who you didn't think you would live with, it could take a lot of effort and energy, but sometimes it could be way worth it. So tips that we can take from this thing. I wrote them down because I needed to. So first, keep in mind that if you're not living alone, the people that you're living with, you will have to, in some sort, have a communication system so that you would know how to make your living situation tolerable in the beginning, but then kind of comfortable in like advanced stages if you're going to live with them for a long time. Second, if you and your roommates get on each other's nerves and you feel like there is no way that you could go a day without wishing that they would fall off the face of the earth, maybe, just maybe, this is your sign to try to find another roommate or to try to swap places with, for example, in another unit, if the renting system allows this sort of swapping tenants. And the last thing would be, if you are going to move out from somewhere and you know someone who is going to also move to the same place, moving together and like knowing that you could live with that person, moving together makes this decision even easier and 10 times more enjoyable, so that you can actually make the change and not feel that you're way overwhelmed by it. Now, moving out isn't always fun. I mean, it could be, but you will get to value how much your parents did for you while you were still living with them, because they did everything that you didn't think that these things would be something you will do. But let's face it, when you move out, there's no one to actually help you with this. You will need to figure a way to get them done. Cleaning, laundry, going for groceries, Ironing, I hate this one. I can't with it. It's anyways. Um, and also fixing things when they go bad. So you don't always have this luxury or time to call someone when something needs to be fixed. So I had to learn how to unclog a sink, how to fix a leaking pipe, and also wrestling with the washing machine so that it doesn't walk to my bedroom. You need to learn some DIY to survive. But seriously though, what is wrong with washing machines? Anyway, tips. So plan out what you need to do for chores. Having a system, or having, like, for example, this day I'll do that, this day I'll do that, this time of the day between work, for example, and gym, or anything. You can work this out so you can try to, as much as possible, not keep things from piling up. You will thank yourself later. Things that don't take much time, just do them before they accumulate with something else. So for example, if you have something that you need to clean, it's not that much, clean it. I know it's so hard. I can't do that. I need to see it piling up until I be like, nobody is going to do that, let me do it. Second thing is, if you live with someone, you can split the chores. So this way you could know who will do what. So you would know, for example, this thing is something that I'll be doing, I need to take care of. If there's something else, they will be doing it. So it is out of my way, I can think of something else. This is if you're living with someone. If you're not living with someone, bravo. I don't think you need a tip. You somehow have a system that works out for you, no questions asked. Okay, if you're like me, you thought when you moved out you'll be cooking gourmet meals all the time. But gourmet, yeah, for sure. I mostly made pasta, sandwiches, which is not even cooking, and the famous instant noodles. So as tips, try meal planning. So it could be something that would make it easier for your grocery shopping, and it will save you a lot of time that you have to spend in the kitchen every day to cook. So there's already something prepped. There are plenty of apps that could help you in that, or even more videos online for easy and fast recipes. And second thing is, if you're not fond of cooking every day because of the dishwashing afterwards, you can try to subscribe to a meal plan. This way you will have your food delivered for the day to you. Now I know that this thing might be heavy on the pocket, especially for younger Gen Zs, but if this could work financially for you, there is no harm in trying it. Okay, now real talk. So moving out isn't always about paying the bills or dealing with the logistics. It is also about the emotional toll it might take. So you would be excited about it for the first few weeks, but then homesickness can hit you hard. Even if you are an independent person and you like your own company, moving to a new environment where everything is unfamiliar to you can take a toll. So I can remember clearly how overwhelmed I felt when I first moved out, because you would miss and you would find yourself homesick for the things that worked out so easy for you when you were back in your element, when you were back home. But those things aren't actually the way that it is going to go when you're dealing with everything being new places, new faces, new everything. So it is normal. First, I can say check in, or like these are the things that would make it feel a bit easier for you. Check in with your family and friends at the pace that you find fit. Now, I understand that the pace might not always be at your own terms, because just as it is a very big change for you moving out, the person or the people that you used to live with, they also feel that your place is missing. So when you try to visualize it from both perspectives, it will help you navigate it better and understand what is going on. And second is, don't feel bad if you're feeling down. It is super normal. When you go through this much of a change, don't try to pretend something that you're not or feel something that you're not. Let the feelings flood. It's fine. Let them flow and feel everything out. It's alright. But you can try to engage in something that you enjoy, or do some sort of hobby or something. This will help you feel less invested in thinking about home or how life used to be, and you would be in a more clear brain space, so that you will be able to be more rational and think about things in a logical way, kind of, because let's be real, there is a reason that you had to move out. And last thing for this point is, make sure you are taking care of your mental health. And I can't stress more on this one. It is easier said than done. I totally get that. But stress will creep in. Alright, sure. This is how we cope with life in every single situation. We always find a solution. We always do. So even if sometimes things can be a bit harder than we think, or it is unbearable at times, just allow yourself the time to breathe and process everything, and you will be able to find your way through. Things can be hard at first, but then, without even realizing it, day in, day out, you'll feel better. Homesickness can a bit deteriorate. You'll meet new people. You'll be able to adapt with new things. So the whole stressing about something wouldn't really make a good result or good outcome out of it, because you don't have a timeline to feel better. If you don't feel better today, you'll feel better tomorrow, and even the day afterwards. There's no one counting. And even if there are specific due dates for whatever thing that might come up, when did stress really make us or help us find a solution? I'm also talking to me about this. I'm guilty of that. Another thing no one tells you about is your social life changes. It's easy to feel isolated when there are no family and friends around, so you will have to kind of make an effort to create your own community. So to do so, you can find local clubs, or talk with your surroundings. This is for you extroverts. For introverts, maybe you can try talking with people on the internet as an icebreaker, so that you'll feel comfortable enough to maybe later be able to do activities with them or go out with them. And for my fellow ambiverts, social is too social, and meeting someone online is a bit too distant, because meeting them organically is always better. This is seriously one of the very few times where not being an extremist is kind of more complex. I will try to share with you some tips when I actually crack the code for myself to begin with. Another thing is don't forget to stay in touch with the OG old crew. So you will need a really good support system to help you in adjusting to your new life. So that's that. Now this one hits home for me. Why no one is talking about this? And I share this with you with caution. But when I first moved out, I knew that I could come back home. My place will still be there. So I traveled to find my professional self elsewhere. Now, this doesn't matter if you are moving out within the same country you lived in or abroad. But be prepared that the second that you pack your stuff and step outside of the door to move, not to travel, to move, there is no way you're going to come back from that. There's no coming back. And I don't mean that in a literal way. I mean that in an experiential way, if that's a word. What I mean by that is even when you go somewhere else and you spend a reasonable amount of time, you can still feel that you don't belong where you're at. So you think, I have home, let me go back at least for a visit. So you go there, your parents are amazing, your friends are lovely, you even don't want to leave, but you can feel it. And they even know that you're just there for a visit. Your place is now not there, and for you it's not elsewhere. So this causes you actually to feel that you lost your sense of belonging. So when you're at home, you're not 100% at home, and when you go back to the place that you kind of moved to, it's not home either. So this could pose a question, is it actually worth it? Was the move worth it? Was going after what I thought is good for me worth it? It's a spiraling thing. But I know that, and I believe that everything happens for a reason. And maybe what made me move out is something down the line. There is something beneficial about it, and something that I didn't know I needed. And I'm willing to take this journey to see what comes up at the end. So, tips again. I'll have to check them. So, embrace yourself to be okay with not knowing all the right answers right away. Good things take time. Second thing is that allow yourself to live your life and experience things to the fullest. Your path will align and you will make sense out of everything that happens, even though right now it might not seem that way. And the last thing would be, our last step would be to live this experience fully. Knowing how life goes, you might have to go through moving out or relocating multiple times. With every single time, live it, be excited about it, because you don't know how many things you could get out of it and how many experiences or life directions it could actually push you to that you didn't know it was absolutely necessary for you and for your life. So trust me that I am sharing this out of a been there, done that basis. This is how we grow. Let's just embrace it. I guess this marks the end of our video for today, sharing 20 life tips for moving out. So be prepared weigh your options, and don't hesitate or be scared to ask questions whenever needed. If you have already done this leap or you're thinking about moving out, drop a comment to share with us what has been the hardest thing about it or what good came out of the process. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and share it with your friends if you know that anyone is going through the process of moving out for some tips. And subscribe for more real life advice. Good luck, and I will see you on the next one.